Hey, I'm Logan. I'm a photographer and filmmaker currently based in Arizona, and I just recently got my hands on the Mamiya RB67, and I decided to test it out by putting a roll of Ilford Delta 400 through it during just a simple portrait shoot that I set up in my living room. I decided on the RB67 for a handful of reasons. Basically started with making a list of my 10 or so favorite photographers at the moment, and realized after making the list that I think 7 of them shoot on either the Mamiya RZ67 or RB67, and I liked that the RB was fully mechanical, so that's the route I decided to go. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the portraits that I made with Ilford Delta 400. The reason I generally gravitate to Delta 400 over HP5, which is Ilford's more popular black and white film stock, is because I tend to prefer slightly more contrast and finer grain. Delta 400 is a more punchy black and white film, and the grain is so fine that sometimes images look borderline digital. I think if I were shooting primarily landscapes, I may reach for a film stock like HP5 or Kodak Tri-X or T-Max. But for portrait shoots, I just tend to prefer slightly more contrast and a finer grain pattern. So I like Delta 400 for those reasons. I shot all of these images on a 90mm lens, which is the full frame equivalent of about a 45mm lens when shooting on a 6.7 camera. And I just find that this focal length is pretty perfect when it comes to the work I like doing in portraiture and environmental portraiture. It's got the versatility to come in tight on a portrait that fills up most of the frame, but it's also wide enough to step back and take in the environment around the subject. I've been metering on this iPhone app called My Light Meter, and overall I feel like it's done a pretty good job so far, but I'm planning on picking up a handheld incident meter like a Sakonic 308 or something like that. Pulling focus on this camera using the bellow focusing system and the waist level viewfinder has definitely been a learning curve for me, but when you're able to nail focus, it's really shocking how sharp and deep these images have the potential to be. I'm really happy with how this image came out in particular. I think I shot this at f5.6, and I just love how sharp her eyes are. I lined up this shot and made this photo of my wife sitting at the base of our couch, and she wanted to take a photo of me as well, so I just swapped spots with her, and this is the photo she took. Overall, I'm looking forward to shooting more Delta 400 in the future. This is the first video I've put together for my YouTube channel, so let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and I'll see you next time.